का है, टैंक का है, ये सारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन बताएगी और यहाँ तक कैसे पहुंचा। सबसे बड़ी बात कि आखिरकार इस आइसोलेटेड एरिया में यहाँ तक कैसे पहुंचा। अगर ये शेल यहाँ तक पहुंच सकता है, जिंदा शेल, तो यहाँ से 500 मीटर दूर यानी कि जो हेलीपैड है पंजाब चीफ मिनिस्टर का और हरियाणा चीफ मिनिस्टर का, वहां तक भी पहुंच सकता है। और सीआरपीएफ के कैंप जो सिर्फ 200 मीटर की दूरी पे है, वहां तक भी पहुंच सकता है। तो ये एक डिटेल्ड इन्वेस्टिगेशन का हिस्सा जो चंडीगढ़ पुलिस और पंजाब पुलिस मिलकर कर रही है। लेकिन अभी तक इंडियन आर्मी जो है इसको डिस्पोज ऑफ करने की एक्सरसाइज में लगी हुई है। चंद ही मिनटों में, कुछ ही मिनटों में इसको कंट्रोल्ड एक्सप्लोजन जो है उससे इसको डिस्पोज ऑफ किया जाएगा, क्योंकि इसकी जो कंट्रोल्ड एक्सप्लोजन की तार और इसके ऊपर एक और एक्सप्लोजन लगाया जाएगा, एक्सप्लोजिव लगाया जाएगा। एक्सप्लोजिव लगाने के बाद जो इंडियन आर्मी है वो इसे ट्रिगर करेगी। इसी तरह से ये एक्सरसाइज कैरी आउट होगी, क्योंकि आज सुबह ही इंडियन आर्मी यहाँ पे पहुंची है, जिन्होंने सारा स्पॉट टेक ओवर कर लिया था। डिटेल्ड इन्वेस्टिगेशन ये बताएगी कि अगर ये किसी कबाड़िए को इंडियन आर्मी ने बेचा था तो आखिरकार कबाड़िए ने यहाँ ये ही क्यों फेंक दिया, बाकी सारा कबाड़ क्यों नहीं फेंका। और एक प्रोटोकॉल होता है, जब भी इंडियन आर्मी अपने जो मिसफायर्ड एक्सप्लोसिव्स होते हैं, शेल्स होते हैं, बॉम्ब्स होते हैं, उनको जब वो एक कबाड़िए को, जंक बायर को देते हैं, तो एक प्रोटोकॉल कहा जाता है उसको फॉलो करने के लिए, लेकिन वो फॉलो नहीं किया गया। इसी वजह से इतना पैनिक कल से लेके आज तक हुआ है, और वो भी बिल्कुल 800 मीटर की दूरी पे पंजाब चीफ मिनिस्टर के घर से। और यहाँ पे तस्वीरों में आप देख सकते हैं कि कैसे इंडियन आर्मी का बॉम्ब स्क्वाड दस्ता जो है उसको कल ही कॉल कर दिया गया था और ये सारा का सारा एरिया सील कर दिया गया था। And after that, after sealing the area, the detailed investigation is also being conducted by the Chandigarh police and the Punjab police, and even they are also verifying the nearby CCTV cameras that who is the person who carried this shell and placed it in this isolated area. It could be placed more near to the Punjab chief minister's residence. It could be placed more near to the CRP camp, which is just at the distance of 200 meters, and even it could be more near to the helipad from where Punjab Chief Minister and Haryana Chief Minister fly their choppers. So this is a very sensitive. But so far, Indian Army has taken over the spot. They have now lifted the shell from its original place and digging out to the other place to do a controlled explosion. And even meanwhile, the entire area has been sealed by the Chandigarh police, and even a heavy deployment of the police with the fire brigades as well as the ambulance is here, and even the deployment is very much active. And in fact, the visuals are revealing that how army is carrying out their operation, and the bomb squad and from Western Command called reach here at the spot in the morning, as they have informed yesterday itself. And even now the detailed investigation is being conducted by the Indian Army regarding the shell, that either this shell belongs to the Indian Army or this shell belongs to any other weapon used by any other person, just because Punjab is in a very sensitive situation since the RPG attacks were being reported twice in Punjab. And even the normal thing is that grenades, weapons, AK-47s, AK-56 are recovered in the Punjab and even dropped through the drones, from the Pakistani drones, in fact nearby the border areas for the weapon and drug smuggling. And at this time when this shell recovered, this obviously their primary angle of the investigation is that either this is connected with any kind of terror attack, or this is just placed by some junk buyer who usually connected with the Indian Army to purchase the junk from the Indian Army regarding the explosive and the misfired shells and the bombs. So Priyanka, very detailed investigation will be conducted, just because the sensitivity cannot be ruled out in this case. Yes.
That's true, Amandeep. And if you could also clarify for our viewers, because we were looking at all of these information that you're also putting out for our viewers, the visuals that you're also getting for our viewers, but speak to us a little bit about what the police had essentially said about this live shell that had been recovered. Because what they had also said was that this explosive was in fact put in a proofread drum and put in a ditch and covered with jute bags that was filled with sand. So was it being strategically placed with camouflage over it, or was this dropped, as you pointed out as well? Was this irresponsibly done, or was this strategically put there as well? What are really the sources telling you? Because this tube well operator is the one that had informed the authorities of this live shell also that had been found there.
Well, absolutely, Priyanka. A very important question you have raised up, and in fact, this is the tube well operator revealed to the local police that he came here to attend a call of nature, and in fact, when he spotted this shell, and in fact, in this area, Priyanka, there is no need to cover this shell with the bushes, just because if you can just identify the area, this geographical area is completely a jungle type of area, and even if you just throw anything, that will be under the bushes and you will not be able to identify it. So this is actually placed at this place, and in fact either strategically, intentionally, or it was just an irresponsibility. This is a part of investigation. So far the police is revealing that the preliminary investigation revealed that this is a kind of irresponsible, just because no specific target was nearby, just because on one side, Priyanka, there is a civilian area belongs to Punjab, and even on the other side there is a road connected to the Chandigarh, and even no VIP area, no specific target is here to which it can be pointed. So initially the police is claiming that this is irresponsibility from the side of junk buyer who purchased these misfired explosives from Indian Army, but this is a part of investigation, Priyanka. The theory cannot be ruled out, the sensitivity cannot be ruled out. The kind of explosive, why the big question is, Priyanka, why this only shell was placed in an isolated area? Either that person has given any kind of target which he don't want to do, and that's the reason he placed this explosive at this area, just in a manner to just throw away and don't want to complete the assignment that has been given by any kind of handler to him, or it is just a pre-planned kind of activity to placing a shell in this isolated area to create the terror in Punjab and Chandigarh. Yes, Priyanka.
Well, absolutely, Amandeep. Very important details that you're breaking down over these exclusive visuals that you're also beaming for our viewers. And of course, I want to thank you for keeping us ahead on that story. We will keep coming back to you because this is an important story that is developing now, viewers, out of Chandigarh. For the moment, we move on to some news in brief. In a fresh CCTV tape access, the victim can be seen with an accomplice, and the girl was with her at the time of the accident. She suffered injuries and fled from the spot, but deceased's legs got stuck in the car, after which she was dragged. In the Delhi hit and run case, police is to recreate the crime scene once again. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, along with Manish Sisodia, is also likely to meet with the victim's family as new CCTV footage in Delhi hit and run case have emerged. Ministry of Home Affairs, under the direction of Union Home Minister Amit Shah, has sought a detailed report of the Delhi Police Commissioner. Special Commissioner in Delhi Police Shalini Singh has been asked to submit the detailed report to MHA immediately. Post-mortem of the 20-year-old victim was conducted last night. The post-mortem report is to be out today. Accused blood samples also sent to the FSL. Family of 5 were killed in a 6-vehicle pile-up in the Trichy-Chennai National Highway in Tamil Nadu's Cuddalore district. The vehicles in the pile-up were also 2 private buses, 2 lorries, 2 cars, and the deceased could not be identified as of now. One of the intruders was shot down by the BSF at Channa BOP at 8 a.m. in the morning. The accused had crossed the border and was shot down at 72 Battalion of BSF. Further search operations are now underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and witness the entire inaugural session of the 108th Indian Science Congress through video conferencing. The theme of the event this year is Science and Technology for Sustainable Development with Women's Empowerment. Two DMK functionaries harassed a female police personnel during a DMK public meeting. In fact, after the police took action to arrest those individuals, the DMK men stopped the police from arresting them. Meanwhile, no case has been registered so far. Congress MLA Sunil Saraf has been booked for performing a celebratory firing with a pistol in the occasion of his New Year party. A video of the incident has gone viral on social media. In the viral video, a Bollywood song is being heard in the background and the MLA is seen firing a revolver from the stage. Time now here for a short break, viewers. Coming up on the other side, it's the big visit of Rajnath Singh in Arunachal after the Tabang incident. We will be bringing you updates on the other side.
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. So you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield, and you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस
Welcome back, viewers. Straight away cutting across to some breaking updates that we are now picking up from Kerala, where the Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan on Tuesday approved Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's recommendation to reinduct the CPIM leader Saji Cherian as minister. Cherian will be administered the oath of the office on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Talking to the reporters, in fact, Cherian had stated that he has not received any official communication regarding the development. The CPIM leader had resigned in July last year from the state cabinet over his alleged remarks against the constitution during the speech in Pathanamthitta district and lodging of a criminal case against him in that connection as well. Subsequently, the ruling CPIM decided on December 30th, 2022 to bring him back to the cabinet and in fact sent a letter to the governor the next day seeking his convenience for administering the oath of the office to the MLA on January 4th. In fact, the Kerala governor, who returned to the state on Monday, had stated that he needs to go through the papers related to Cherian's reinstatement into the cabinet as it was not a normal case. Let me also bring in my colleague Ashwin, who's on the ground reporting on this story. Ashwin, tell us more about the kind of statements that we are now learning from the governor's office, from the governor itself, who has stated that he has in fact just come back and he will have to go through the paperwork, but this is not a normal case, is something that the governor has said. Tell us more about this entire incident and how the entire cabinet minister in fact is going to be reinstated as well, Ashwin.
Well, initially the government had played a very hard ball, stating that he has to look into the issue as Saji Cherian is not being taken into the ministry for the very first time, and he had made an anti-constitutional speech in Pathanamthitta on July 6th, and further to which he had tendered his resignation. Now, although the Kerala governor Arif Mohammed Khan had stated he will look into the matter, today it seems that he has relented to the advice of the chief minister. The exact words of the governor Arif Arif Muhammad Khan was that he had given his recommendation to the Chief Minister, but however, the advice of the Chief Minister is binding on him. This is the exact words which the Governor of Kerala has stated, thereby allowing the swearing-in ceremony to take place or tomorrow, that is Wednesday, at around 4 p.m. Now, the Congress has criticized the move. That is on one side, the Ramesh Chinitra, senior Congress leader, has criticized the move, but the Governor has stated that he has done his role and it is up to the Chief Minister and his advice that is binding with regard to reinstating a minister under him. So clearly, the issue between the Governor and government has not come again in this new year. It has not come forth. The Governor has basically relented and agreed to the advice of the Chief Minister of Kerala. That is how this issue has been resolved. Now Sajid Cherian will be reinstated tomorrow at 4 p.m. and back as a Minister of the Cabinet in Kerala.
All right, Ashwin there getting us the details of this important story that we are tracking from Kerala. Of course, we will be tracking as far as the Governor is concerned and how the latest, in fact, we have seen the statements coming in from the Governor's office as well. Let's viewers play out that reaction of the Governor as well first, and then we'll get you all the breaking updates.
We have a legal advisor who is senior advocate who practices in the Kerala High Court, and he's a senior advocate. But unfortunately, the media reports that legal consultant. Please don't try to lower his status. He's a senior advocate. He's a legal advisor. And we have a legal advisor so that not just on this issue, on other issues as well, we can seek legal opinion. Now you are aware that I am coming back after about 10 days, and I was the farmost northern part Kashmir for last 2, 3, 4 days. So I have not read. No, even yesterday I had said when I came that it is Governor has to accept the recommendation of the Chief Minister, but this case is slightly different because he is not being inducted for the first time. Therefore, newspapers and other sources also making various comments on it. All those things taken into consideration, whatever advice I had to give, I have given, and ultimately I accept the Chief Minister's decision, and we will have the swearing in tomorrow.
We just heard the Kerala Governor, viewers, and let me also bring in my colleague Ashwin once again on the broadcast. Ashwin, we just heard the Kerala Governor also speaking about how this case is a little different as well. Speak to us a little bit about the legalities of it, and what did the Governor really mean when he said that this case is a little different?
The petition that had initially come forward against Sajid Cherian, the petition had very categorically stated that he had attracted disqualification based on Section 9 of the Representation of People's Act 1951. Also, there is a case that has been filed against Sajid Cherian for his anti-constitutional speech which he had given in Pathanamthitta, and that had also attracted a case under, and one of the lawyers had also filed a case, and under Section 2 of the Prevention of Insult to National Honor Act, a case has also been filed. While this case is currently ongoing in the Tiruvalla court, in the Sessions Court in Tiruvalla, the Governor has agreed and relented to the advice of the Chief Minister. So basically, thereby diluting any kind of an, there was this tension between the Governor and the government, which has been lingering for quite a long time. But with regard to this issue, there seems to have been a consensus this, and the governor is also convinced, and he has also stated he has acted within the confines. He has given his advice to the chief minister. Ultimately, the chief minister's advice is binding on him. So essentially, governor has made a remark to the chief minister, but finally, it is chief minister who decides, as per the constitution, who should come under his ministry. And if he is convinced about it, then the governor will only have to allow the swearing-in ceremony to happen. So essentially, that is what this whole story has turned out now. The tension between the governor and government has been diluted as far as this issue is concerned.
Ashwin, stay on with us as we're also getting various other voices on this big story that you're tracking for us there from Kerala. In fact, we also have Mithun Vijay Kumar, who's an author and an activist there in Kerala, also joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking to us here on Republic TV. And if I could get your first thoughts on the kind of controversy that has now erupted over the cabinet minister, over the kind of speeches that he had also made in Patnampita that had led to this entire controversy as well. And now the governor also saying that he will be abiding by the legal counsel of the chief minister as well, sir.
Yes, see, this is not the first time, we have seen such statements coming from Pinarayi Vijayan's cabinet. And Mr. Sajid Cherian, who was the Minister of Fisheries and Culture, was sacked actually for ridiculing the Indian Constitution, saying it approves, exploitation of workers. And this is very unfortunate that I heard that he is being re-inducted, and that's very unfortunate. And it's an insult on democracy itself. A person who goes on record and makes such, statements which is actually a breach of oath, is coming back into power is very unfortunate. And this perhaps happens only in Kerala. And we have seen such statements coming in from Mr. Balagopalan as well, previously, who is also a minister. And I don't think much was done, actually. That time, the whole issue was turned against the governor. And there is this, thing happening from a very long time.
A very important point that you're saying there, sir, as well, as far as the kind of statements that had come out from this Minister Cherian as well, when he had in fact insulted the constitution, the unparliamentary language as well that had been used as well. How do you see this entire procedure as well? Because now the Chief Minister giving that advice that he needs to be reinstated, Governor merely following procedure, he's saying that the Chief Minister is the legal counsel. He will have to also adhere to the kind of counsel and advice that he has been given as well. But I want to thank you, sir, for joining us here on Republic and speaking to us and viewers. Of course, this is a big story that we are tracking for you. As far as Cherian is concerned, the cabinet minister who is all set to be reinstated, the governor claiming that, of course, this is a separate case, it's a different case and will have to be treated differently as well. And cutting across now to some more breaking updates, viewers, that we are picking up. Now we are learning of a controversial remark by the BJP leader Nalin Katil. He said, and I quote, "So I am asking you people, don't speak about small issues like road and sewage. If you are worried about your children's future and you want to stop love jihad, then we need BJP for that. To get rid of love jihad, we need BJP as well." Now, this is something that has been stated by Nalin Katil. He is, in fact, a renowned leader of BJP from Karnataka as well. He is the BJP Karnataka president. And we do see the kind of open call for polarization in this big statement, a controversial statement really, that has been sent across by the BJP leader, Nalin Katil, and he has stated a level of fear psychosis that we see him being pushing in this statements as well, where he is talking about how not to say anything about issues like road and sewage, but he is also talking about how if you are worried of your children's future, then you need to stop love jihad, and BJP is the solution. For that is something that the BJP's Nalin Katil, in fact, is giving an open call as far as polarization is also concerned in this particular statement that is coming to light from Karnataka. Now, viewers, let's also try to listen in as to what exactly did Nalin Katil also say.
ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನೀವು ರಸ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಚರಂಡಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕು ನಿಮಗೇನು ಬಂಗಾರ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಬದುಕಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಬೇಕು. ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ.
And there you have it, viewers. We just played out that soundbite of Nalin Katil as well, the BJP leader there from Karnataka, in fact, who's making these kind of polarizing statements when it comes to love jihad as well, claiming that BJP needs to come in power to stop love jihad. Of course, a controversial statement just months before the state of Karnataka goes into elections as well. And we have seen how the pressure is mounting on the BJP as well. We have seen the kind of plans and strategies that have been made by the BJP in Karnataka, the multiple visits by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah there in Karnataka as well. But now we see in the backdrop of all of that, the controversial statement coming to light from the BJP's Nalin Katil. And let's play out that statement once again of Nalin Katil as Niranjan, my colleague, also joins us. And we will be going across to him for more updates on this. Let's first listen in to Nalin Katil.
ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನೀವು ರಸ್ತೆ ಮೋರಿ ಚರಂಡಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕು ನಿಮಗೇನು ಬಂಗಾರ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಬದುಕಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಬೇಕು. ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ
All right, let me also bring in Niranjan from the Mumbai newsroom as well. Niranjan, it's over to you about the statement that has now been made by Nalin Katil. If you could walk us through what exactly he has said and what the kind of reactions as far as the political fraternity is concerned of this polarizing statement that has been now made by Nalin Katil, Niranjan.
Well, extremely controversial comment, and his exact words are, Priyanka, he says that don't talk about roads, don't talk about drainage, don't talk about sewage. He says these are small issues, don't talk about these issues, that's not the real issues. Tell people when you go to them that they must think about the future of their children, they must think about love jihad. And then he asked his party workers to talk about love jihad. He says talk about love jihad, think about love jihad, that's the future. Don't talk about issues like drainage, don't talk about issues like road, charandi, etc. He means basically don't talk about roads, don't talk about sewage, don't talk about the smaller issues. That's what he meant to say, that these are small issues. There are bigger issues like love jihad. Now, for people, at one point we used to say that it's roti, kapda, makan. That's the basics that people need. That's what they want. That's what they really require. Tanveer Ahmed is joining us on the phone line. I think, Priyanka, I'll take the first question and you can take it from there. An extremely controversial comment, Tanveer,
Yes.
by the BJP MP. How would your party want to respond to it?
It is not controversial. Claim to fame of Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil is making a bizarre Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil, definitely, he's absolutely right, because they can't speak about roti, kapda, makan, infrastructure, because they have really taken away roti from the poor man, and they have not given any makan. And 40% commission, corruption, everything, many scams. So Nalin Kumar Katil, the last resort, what he's really looking at is going to election in the name of religion. That has always worked for people like him. But I hope that this is not going to work in future. As you rightly said, that politicking is done for next general election and politics is done for next generation. These people have really failed to really take care of the requirement of next generation or developing Karnataka or Kannadigas. Their only aim is to win election by hook or crook or by divisive politics, I think the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, says...
All right, Tanveer Ahmed, I request you to stay on with us as you're giving us very important perspective on this very important story. Stay on with us as I also welcome Priyank Kharge of the Congress Party on the broadcast. Priyank Kharge, if I could come to you over the statements that have been made by the BJP leader, in fact, there in Karnataka, and we have seen the kind of polarizing statements that have been made. He's stating, don't talk about sewage, don't talk about the basic necessities. It is love jihad that is the need of the hour to be addressed, and this is the BJP that will also help in eradicating love jihad is something that he is saying. Your first thoughts on that? All right, Priyank Kharge, if you can hear me now, we are tracking this very big development there from Karnataka. All right, we'll go across to Priyank Kharge in just a bit, but we are, viewers, tracking for you the latest as far as Nalin Katil is concerned. There from Karnataka, a controversial statement coming to light from the BJP leader, Nalin Katil. He is stating that he is asking people to don't speak about the small issues like road and sewage. For him, road and sewage and basic necessities of the people are smaller issues, and if you are worried about your children's future, you have to stop love jihad, is something that he has stated. And then we need the BJP for eradicating love jihad is something that he has stated. And we see this polarizing statement coming to light just months before the Karnataka elections as well. Viewers, let's once again listen into what Nalin Katil had to say.
ನೀವು ರಸ್ತೆ ಮೋರಿ ಚರಂಡಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ನಳಿನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ನಕ್ಕು ನಿಮಗೇನು ಬಂಗಾರ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಬದುಕಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಬೇಕು. ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ.
All right, we just played out that controversial statement once again that had been stated by Nalin Katil, and we have heard him speak about how he's calling road and sewage and basic necessities as well smaller issues, and he's stating that if you are worried about your children's future and if you want to stop love jihad, then we need the BJP for that. A very controversial and polarizing statement really once again coming to light from Karnataka just months ago, just months before the elections in fact are all set to take place. We have seen the kind of movement of the BJP central leadership as well there in Karnataka, the strategy meetings that had been carried out, the kind of preparation that is being carried out as well. In the backdrop of that, we see this kind of a controversial statement really, viewers, coming to light from Nalin Katil, where he is trying to polarize, he is trying to push a level of fear psychosis and stating that the need of the hour to focus on is love jihad, and the only solution for love jihad in fact is the BJP to be coming in power is something that Nalin Katil has said. Let me also bring in my colleague Prajwal, who's there in Karnataka tracking this story for us very closely. Prajwal, tell us more about the kind of controversial statement that has now been made by Nalin Katil. Where was he making this speech? How was he responding? Who was he really responding to? Or was this an arbitrary statement that he has made for polarizing just months before the elections are all set to take place, Prajwal?
This particular incident has happened in Mangaluru, and this was at the Vijay Booth Mahotsava, which the BJP has launched on the 2nd of January. That was yesterday. And while he was going on and addressing his party cadres as well as booth level workers at Mandal level and the Panchayat level, he's gone on to state that do not speak about trivial issues like development of roads or drains or even sewage for that matter. Be safe, then speak about love jihad, and if you want love jihad to be banned, then you should make sure that you vote the BJP into power, and you will need to have Nalin Kumar Katil at power, is what he himself has claimed over here. And this has triggered a lot of controversy over there, where the opposition has now started slamming Nalin Kumar Katil, stating that how could the BJP state president holding a responsible position go on and make such careless comments, and stating that go on and sideline development, do not talk about the bad condition of roads or the bad infrastructure which has claimed many lives, not only in Bengaluru but also
absolutely, Prajwal. And this also arises the question, Prajwal, with respect to the BJP's messaging, the BJP's narrative, which has always been that of development. And now we see the BJP leader, and not a very small leader from Karnataka, coming out and going completely against the messaging of the BJP as well. So are you getting any kind of response from the BJP as far as any action that will be taken against Nalin Katil?
He himself is the BJP president over here, so the right person would be himself to speak on this, as well as the Chief Minister Basraj Bommai. But so far the BJP has remained tight-lipped and there has been no sort of statements or comments that is coming from the party.
That's true. Prajwal there getting us the updates as far as this very controversial comment from Nalin Katil is concerned, where we just listened in, viewers, where Nalin Katil in fact is stating that these are issues that are trivial. He's calling issues of development in fact trivial. We will have to wait and watch as to how the BJP really responds, because this is going completely against the messaging of the BJP as well as far as Karnataka is concerned, since the BJP, we have seen, viewers, also that fights the elections on the messaging of development. And here we have the Karnataka president of the BJP itself, who's coming out and stating that these are trivial issues not to be addressed. In fact, the issue that needs to be addressed and talked about is that of love jihad. Moving on now, viewers, to another top story that we are tracking for you from Punjab, from Chandigarh specifically, where we had seen the live shells that had been found and how the bomb disposal squad had reached just a few minutes ago. And we were showing you those exclusive visuals. And we had seen how the live shell, in fact, had been also taken and that had been seized as well. And how the bomb disposal squad is, in fact, at the spot right now. Those are the visuals that we are putting out on your screens right now from Chandigarh. In fact, we are also getting you the updates as far as the bombshell is concerned that has been taken out by the Indian Army, is the latest that we are learning. In fact, let me also go across to Amandeep, who's live from that location specifically. Amandeep, it's over to you. What really is the update of the bomb disposal squad? And tell us more about the visuals that we are seeing there from Chandigarh.
Now, investigation, and in fact we will try to speak officers.
Connect that audio line with Amandeep in just a bit, because those are the visuals, viewers, that we are putting out first and exclusive on your screens right now as far as the bomb disposal squad is concerned. And we have seen over the past few hours of how there was a level of panic there, because there was a live bomb that had been found near the residences of the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. And we had also seen how there is an investigation that is being carried out as well in this entire matter on whether or not this was a conspiracy, because we had seen how the explosive proof red drum had been put in a ditch and had been covered with jute bags that had been filled with sand. And we had seen that this was a tip-off that was given off by a tube well operator that had informed after spotting the bombshell. And I believe Amandeep is back with us. Amandeep, it's over to you. Take us through the details of the visuals that we're seeing on our screens right now. All right, so those are the exclusive visuals, viewers, that we are putting out on your screens, where the live bomb in fact had been found from near the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann's residence. And we had seen how there was a bomb disposal squad that had been immediately dispatched for the spot. And the admissions, in fact, the authorities in fact had also stated that there is nothing to be worried about. but we had seen a level of panic that had been there in the locals as well, because this was just a few minutes away, in fact, from the residence of the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. And we have also seen how the investigation in this entire matter is being carried out, of whether this was an incidence of negligence or a conspiracy, because we have seen that our security forces have been there at the spot and they have been giving out this message that there is in fact nothing to be worried about, that there is no level of panic anymore. And the bombshell that we are getting, the latest developments, the bombshell in fact has been taken out by the Indian Army as well. Those are the visuals on your screens. And Amandeep is right there where this entire activity of the bomb disposal squad is also being carried out. Amandeep, it's over to you. Speak to us about the visuals that we are seeing on our screens and also the investigation so far and any update that the authorities have been able to give you.
Well, Priyanka, now the Indian Army has taken the custody of the shell, and in fact they have taken this shell to a safer place where they can destroy it without any intervention of the civilian. Just because I can show you the area from where this shell has been lifted, it is completely connected to a civilian area where the residential area as well as two roads are connected to this area. Chief Minister's residence is very much close to this area, and even the helipad, CRPF camp, everything is very much close to this area, and that is the reason they have taken the decision to lift this shell from this location and to destroy it at a safer place. And Priyanka, I'll take you to that location from where this shell has been lifted, and even I'll show you the exact point where it has been placed and later where it has been digged, just because the Indian Army bomb squad has complete their operation from this very much location with lot of precautions and with the entire safety also. Bomb squad team has used the robotic machinery to lift this bomb, and in fact this is the place. This is the place, Priyanka. I'll show you. This is the place, and this was the drum in which it was placed. I request my camera person to kindly show you the inside visuals of this drum. From yesterday evening, this shell was placed inside this drum, and this is a fiber drum, so that at least if it, in any case, in any uncertainty, it explodes, it should not give a impact to the other areas. And these are the sandbags which were placed in fact when this shell was spotted by a civilian in this very much area. And in fact you can see the visuals from where it has been lifted from this very much place. It has been lifted from this very much place by the robot and even taken to the other location, just because. Priyanka, I'll show you. I request my camera person to kindly connect the visual from this very much location to the approaching road. Look how road is very much closer to this, and this road is completely occupied by the vehicle movement also. And that is the reason Indian Army bomb squad team has lifted this shell from this very much place, and I'll take you to that place also where they actually made an earlier decision to defuse it in a controlled explosion. And in fact that is the place which is at a distance of almost 20 to 30 meters, and even this was the place that was identified by the Indian Army to dispose of this shell, and even in the full-fledged manner. This exercise was completely carried out in a very professional manner. They dig out, and in fact they identified the place, and even that covered with the sandbags. Here the shell was placed before taking into the custody. The shell was placed here and decided to defuse at this very much location. But later the last decision was taken by the bomb squad officers, and even decided to get more safer to explode and destroy it. And even I request my camera person to kindly show around the geographical location of this very much spot, that how it is approaching to the civilians. Road is very much nearby to this location, and even Priyanka, I'll show you this side, the helipad of Punjab and Haryana Chief Minister helipad is at around 500 meters from this very much location, and we can walk around and we can go nearby to that helipad by walking around 500 meters, and even for walking around 200 meters there is a CRPF camp also, and even beyond that there is a Chief Minister's residence also. This is how the entire area is completely sensitive, and now the Chandigarh police has put the security also, just because since yesterday this area has completely been cordoned off. No civilian movement is here, just because the people who are staying in the nearby residential areas, they keep on they take this route by foot to reach out the Rajendra Garden. That is where the helipad of Punjab and Haryana Chief Minister, and beyond that there is a Chief Ministerial residence of Bhagwant Maan also. So this is the area from where the Indian Army has carried out their entire exercise of putting this shell into a safe zone. But the point is, the question, Priyanka, still arises that how this shell arrived at this location. Is this irresponsibility, or is this an intentional attempt to create the terror among the area, to place this shell nearby the location of Punjab Chief Minister's residence, to indicate that terror activity is still sustaining not only the border locations but here in Chandigarh nearby the Chief Minister's residence? And even this will be revealed in the later investigation conducted by the Punjab police as well as Chandigarh police, just because, Priyanka, yesterday Chief Minister's security in charge, ADGP rank officer AK Pandey, has also visited the spot and even verified the shell. And I just show you the location from 360-degree angle. I just show you the location from 360-degree angle.
All right, viewers, we are cutting across to some more breaking updates that we are putting out for you of that very controversial. We had seen that hit and run case. In fact, we are getting updates of the post-mortem report that has now been accessed by your channel Republic TV, which claims that there was no sexual assault of the Sultanpuri victim, and the report is yet to be submitted to the Delhi police as well. These are breaking updates that we're putting out on your screens as far as the Delhi hit and run case is concerned, where we had seen a horrific incident, really, viewers, of the two girls that had been on the scooter, one of whom had been dragged for over more than 13 kilometers, and we had seen how there are also several loopholes when it comes to...
We will explain each and every point to you, but let's get the report in hand first of all. मैम, मुझे उन लोगों ने बोला है 1 से 2 बजे के बीच में, अभी 1 बज गई है. मैं एक बार डॉक्टर उपेन से कांटेक्ट करने की कोशिश करता हूँ फिर से, एंड देन आई विल गेट बैक टू यू. ओके
ओके, थैंक यू बॉस.
थैंक यू सर.
छोड़ दो यार.
So we are putting out the reactions as well, viewers, of the doctors as well, because we are putting out the details of the post-mortem report, the details that have been accessed by your channel exclusively, and we have seen how that post-mortem report also reveals that there was no sexual activity. In fact, the sexual assault of the Sultanpuri victim that had not taken place as well. In fact, let me also go across to my colleague Piyush Mishra, who's joining me live on the broadcast with those updates. Piyush, it's over to you. Take us through the details of this post-mortem report, and is this conclusively said to you by your sources that there was no sexual assault of the Sultanpuri victim in this entire incident, and what really are the other details that have come out in this post-mortem report, Piyush?
Well, Priyanka, very soon we will be getting all the details of this post-mortem report, but initial details which we are now accessing from our sources is that no sexual assault took place. This is what we have got to know, that no sexual assault took place of Sultanpuri victim. The report is yet to be submitted to Delhi police. It is also to be submitted in an hour or so, but what we are now learning from our sources is that no sexual assault has taken place, and this is what we are getting confirmation from our sources. Within in the Maulana Azad Medical College. Remember that the family members are already there to receive the body of victim, and the family members have been demanding that more sections now should be added. In fact, Delhi police is telling us that they are yet to receive the post-mortem report, but sources have confirmed to the public that no sexual assault has taken place with victim, and that's the big development which we are right now picking. In fact, the family members had been demanding, in fact they had been claiming claiming that the victim was subjected to sexual assault. She was raped. After that, she was murdered. This was the claim of family members, but a post-mortem report is revealing something else. We'll have to wait and watch how the further investigation will take place. Though Delhi police has also added that they have got eyewitness in this very case, and the investigation is still at the primary stage, and they are trying to get more and more details. In fact, all the CCTV cameras, those are there at the entire stretch will be looked into. More and more angles would be investigated into, but this initial information which we are getting from the postmortem report is that the victim was not subjected to any kind of sexual assault. This is what the confirmation which we are now getting.
Right.
We'll have to wait and watch how the investigation further proceeds. Priyanka.
But Piyush, speak to us a little bit about that investigation that you're speaking about as well, because we have seen the kind of twists and turns since morning that we are looking at, the kind of loopholes that have come to light in terms of the investigation. The second woman, in fact, who had been riding pillion on that two-wheeler, and how she has been made as an eyewitness, and where was she really? All of these loopholes that are really coming to light as far as the investigation is concerned. So speak to us a little bit about that as well. What is the Delhi police really now saying?
Well, the biggest loophole, if we talk about, is that Delhi police in its first statement did not mention about involvement of the friend of victim. They should have gone there to the hotel from where this victim had left, and what actually transpired throughout that particular fateful night, that should have been there in that primary statement of Delhi police, but that was not written in that statement. In fact, Delhi police tried to give it a hit and run color. They did not investigate further, and they seems to be not adding further sections in that particular FIR, and also the claims, so those were there made by eyewitnesses, were also not looked into. In fact, eyewitness who spoke to the public also confirmed to us that he continued to make multiple calls to Delhi police. Delhi police took a lot of time to in fact reach on the spot. They in fact were in touch with eyewitness, but they did not act on time, and the body was found after an hour or so of the call was made. I remember that the call was made at around 3:15 a.m. This is what the eyewitness is telling, and at around 4:20 a.m. on 1st of January 2023, the body was found there in Sultanpur district. So it somewhere raises a lot of questions about as to how there was a delay. Why didn't Delhi police go to that particular hotel from where the victim had left? And after 48 hours, we are now seeing another woman coming into the light. Now Delhi police is telling us that the statement of eyewitness in this case, the victim's girl's statement are now being recorded. She has now been made eyewitness. In fact, Delhi police is now telling us that the eyewitness is cooperating with them. What we are also learning is that other issues, other angles will also be looked into. More people would be spoken by the Delhi police to understand what actually happened. In fact, what we are now learning is that today or by tomorrow, the recreation of the entire scene will also take place, and that is taking place under a senior police officer.
Piyush, stay on with us as you're giving us some more important details of this entire investigation and the Delhi police, as far as Delhi police is also concerned. Stay on with us as I also bring in our colleague Suesha from the Delhi newsroom as well, who's reporting on the story as well. Suesha, if you could speak to us about the kind of developments that we are now seeing, and now we are also seeing at the Delhi police chief, in fact, at Amit Shah's residence. What's really expected there? And, we had seen the kind of reports that were also asked from the Delhi police, the kind of, updates that were also asked from the Delhi police. What's really happening at this particular meeting between the Delhi police chief and Amit Shah as well?
Well, Priyanka, firstly, I want to bring your focus to what the Home Minister had said yesterday, and the very statement in those 3 words that he says, act without the fear of favor. So that is very, very evident to how the police now cannot and should not tamper with the case any which way, given how the Delhi police has been heavily criticized and questioned when it comes to inaction, and now all the focus is on the investigation where they are being watched very closely. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah personally looking into this case. Yesterday, Republic was the first to put out that news of how the Home Minister had spoken to the special CP and said that he wants every detail on this case. He is going to monitor this case personally, and he has said act without the fear of favor, because there is hearsay on how the accused may have some political clout on the basis of which the police may not be acting like they should. But that aside, several questions on the way the police did not act on time, their inaction, their delay, and now the police, of course, is answerable when it comes to the investigation. A couple of developments that have happened. To begin with, the post-mortem report that was heavily being relied on, especially after the claim that the victim's family had made, where the victim's mother had said that she feels that there is sexual assault that was done to her daughter, and that must be looked into, which is a claim that the Delhi police had completely refuted. And then they had said that in case the post-mortem report suggests otherwise, then they will certainly add that charge. Now the medical team is ruling out the sexual assault angle, so that is one important development. By and large, when it comes to the safety of women in Delhi and how that very seriously needs to be looked into, because there needs to be a larger plan. We have seen some very, very horrific cases, the rarest of rare crimes against women in the national capital.
Absolutely,
and that is exactly why the DCW has also made...
Sorry to cut you short, but of course, this is one of the biggest stories that we are tracking. Please stay on with us, Suesha, Piyush. You are breaking down some very important details. For the moment, let's slip into a very short break and then we'll be back with more updates.
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए, भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए, इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali.
Welcome back, viewers. We are putting out for you more and more updates as far as this now massive protest that we are tracking for you. Let's
दिल्ली पुलिस के कमिश्नर यहाँ से मिलकर जा रहे हैं। यहाँ पर पहले 20 से 25 मिनट
those visuals from the national capital, where we have seen that the Delhi police chief, in fact, also going and meeting with the Home Secretary, and we have seen that he had just entered the North Block as well, and we are waiting to get an update and getting in a word from him as well. We are trying to get in a word from him as far as the investigation by the Delhi police is concerned. And now shifting our focus, viewers, to what's really happening there in Haldwani in Uttarakhand over an anti-encroachment drive where there are massive protests that have broken out over this anti-encroachment drive that is being carried out by the authorities. In fact, the eviction drive that is being carried out was ordered by the High Court over the encroachment over the railway land in that particular area. And protesters that had been backed by political parties are staging a sit-in dharna at that particular place. They are blocking the roads, alleging that the drive is to target the minority community. The anti-encroachment drive, they're stating, is something that is being done to target the minority community. And that is why we see protesters on the streets trying to block the roads as well, protesting against this eviction drive and anti-encroachment drive that is being carried out there in Haldwani in Uttarakhand. Let me also bring in my colleague Madhurima, who's on the ground reporting on this story. Madhurima, tell us more about this protest, these visuals that we are seeing of protesters, and these protesters, if they have any political backing as well or not, and what really are the demands, because they're claiming that this eviction drive is being done against the minorities is something that their claim is. But what really has been this entire eviction drive, this encroachment drive as well? Speak to us about these visuals as well, Madhurima.
Well, Priyanka, as far as this entire case is concerned, I'm reporting from that particular area that is under the scanner. Now, the railways have contended that this entire vicinity, I request my camera person to show you around, not just, the 28 acres of slum, but the rest of around 52 acres of the land that has been contended by the railways that it is theirs, and they have alleged that it is this, these people have come and encroached upon this land. You can see the kind of homes, the kind of residences that have been built here. There are multiple banks, there are multiple schools. It's like a proper residential vicinity over here. And now this entire area has been demarked by the railways. The Delhi High Court in their last verdict in the 2016 had said they have given the railways the permission to carry out this demolition drive and take back their land. They have said that the people who are living here in this entire vicinity were, could not produce enough document in front of the court that could that could really contest their case, that could really strengthen their case, and which is why the court ordered this demolition drive. On 1st of January, notice was sent out to the residents over here, people living in these residences, Priyanka, but now they have approached the Supreme Court. On January 5th, the Supreme Court will be hearing this entire matter. But once again, I'll show you this entire area. Now, people here are contending that they have been living here for a very, very long time. They are saying that they do have their documents, they have their registry, but the railway very strongly is contending that no, it is their land. The railways have produced a proper map in front of the court that shows that this entire 78 acres of land is theirs and that they would want it back. However, the people living here, Priyanka, are contending otherwise. They are saying that they have been living here for decades. There are government schools hundreds of years old, but at the same time they fail to produce enough documents that could help the court reach a conclusion in their favor, and which is why the Delhi High Court came forward and gave a verdict saying that a demolition is imperative and that the railway could move and proceed forward by giving a 1 week's notice, and that has been given. On 1st of notice, it was published in the newspapers over here that a demolition drive will be conducted. Leaving the slum areas of 28 acres, this entire vicinity is also under the scanner of the railways, and they are contending that it is their land. They have produced maps, they have produced old architectural plans in front of the court that says that lands belong to the railways, and the way this entire land, according to the railways, has been encroached, you can see that these are not mere slums. There are banks over here, there are local businesses, there are mosques, there are temples, there are colleges, Everything has been built on this railway land that now has been contended by the railways. They are saying that this land needs to be given back to the railways for for their, of course, developmental plan. But the people here are very strongly raising their voice against the entire matter. They are saying that it is wrong, and if at all they are being removed, there should be a plan of relocation as well. However, in front of the Delhi High Court, they failed to produce much evidence in front of the court, which said that the railway now has the authority to carry out this drive, and for that a lot of security arrangement has also begun from the part of the state dispensation as well, Priyanka. In multiple colleges over here, multiple platoons of paramilitary forces are being summoned in, and they will be brought in if the demolition drive happens. We'll have to wait and watch as to see what happens on January 5th. Will these people, the people living in the vicinity, will be able to really put in their case in front of the Supreme Court, or will the Supreme Court go by what the Delhi High Court had said? Because the Delhi High Court did not find merit in the documents and in the arguments put forth by people living here in the vicinity. Back to studios.
So Madhurima, they're helping us understand what's happening. Madhurima, now two quick questions. First up, you're telling us that this is something that the court has opined on, and these are protests against that court order. Secondly, I want to know who's really fronting these protests, Madhurima, because that's an important question. There are reports indicating that this entire protest has also become political, with political parties jumping in the fray and saying that the community here is being targeted, clearly misleading them, Madhurima, into coming onto the streets like this.
Well, yes, if you say that a certain community is being targeted, that's a false accusation, because if we look at this entire vicinity as well, Deepthi, they are not just mosques, they are temples as well, there are colleges as well, boys and girls. The people of two community are living here together. It's just not one community that is going to face the brunt of the demolition drive if it happens. We'll have to see what the court says. Now, as far as, minting political benefit out of it, we've seen multiple opposition parties coming and taking, because it is a minority majority area over here, that the ratio of the population is slight towards the Muslim community, but it is the Hindu community also resides over here. There are multiple temples, there are multiple mosques, there are colleges, there are banks, there are businesses over here, small businesses in the entire vicinity that are being run by people of multiple communities over there. It's not just one community who's going to face the brunt. So that is, of course, opportunistic politics that is being practiced by the opposition leaders over here, Deepthi. We'll have to see as to how does the Supreme Court reacts, because we are making a statement on the basis of facts, the facts that have been kept in front of the court, and the court did not find merit in the arguments of the people living in the vicinity, and they say that they have failed to produce enough evidence that could suffice or that could substantiate their stand that this is their land and that they will not vacate. However, the court has ordered the demolition drive, that 1 week notice should be given, and then as the railways like, they can carry out the they can carry out the demolition drive, Deepthi. So we'll have to see how this entire matter really pans out. We've reached here on spot. We are bringing you the live exclusive visuals over here, because it's just not a slum. The way this entire area has been allegedly encroached, as said by the railways and as opined by the court as well in its verdict, it is a matter of concern. If at all the Supreme Court finds merit in the argument of the side of the people living here, we'll have to see what happens on January 5th.
Okay, Madhurima, now I think it's important again to underscore how political these protests possibly have become. And this is a question I ask you again, because it's important to speak about this. What really has been the background to these protests that you see there? We are looking at these images on our screens that you've been able to access for us. And secondly, I want to know that what are political parties saying? What has their response been to, Madhurima, making a completely legal issue a political one, trying to give this a spin? Who really are these people? Who really are these netas?
Well, as far as we talk about, we've seen how BJP leaders have come forward and said that this is nothing but a drive towards development, and that development is important, and that it is railway which has carried out the entire demarcation of the entire matter, and they have done everything in legitimate manner. Now, Deepthi, as far as your question is concerned, the political minting political benefit out of it, we've seen even the Congress coming forward. As far as I know, that in the Supreme Court, it would be Salman Khurshid that would be advocating from the side of the people here in the vicinity. So we'll have to see as to the agenda that is being propagated over here. The agenda that is being propagated over here is that the government, the state and the central government are trying to push these people out of their houses, but the railways have given enough evidence in front of the court, and it is the court's decision. It is not the decision of any political party, Deepthi. The court has taken a decision on the basis of documents, on the basis of the provisions of law, and then said that the people living in the vicinity have not been able to produce enough evidence in front of the court, not enough documents, not enough matter that the court could give a verdict in their favor. However, the railways have put forth that architectural plan, post-independence, pre-independence as well, in front of the court, that really highlights the fact that this entire 78 acres of land belongs to them, and it is high time that they be given this back, because since 2007 this entire case is doing rounds in several courts, and now that it has reached the Supreme Court, we'll have to see on January 5th that how the Supreme Court bench is going to react to the arguments presented by both the sides. Deepthi.
Okay, and Madhurima, there are also reports that before this eviction drive actually happened, there was a week's notice given to all these people, actually informing them of what the court has said and saying that this is the legal way forward. So did they actually follow that order? Did they listen to that, order? Or do they believe that they are just being targeted? And, when you've spoken to these people, Madhurima, what is your gut sense? Are they being misled by netas, by politicians?
Well, Deepthi, I spoke to these people. They are pressing upon the fact that they are being pushed out of their houses. Now, I request my camera person to show you around as I explain the entire matter. As to these people are of the view that they are not being given benefits like the other community. That is the message that is being spelled around here in this entire vicinity that is going, that will face the brunt if the demolition drive will happen. Now, being a Muslim majority area, the people here are being pushed to accept the fact that you will not be helped by the government. Now, the point is that the government has no participation whatsoever in this entire matter. The case is between the railways and, of course, the people living in this entire area. Time and again, they have been given notices. On 1st of January itself, they were given the notice. As per the guidelines of the Supreme Court, that 1 week notice is given and the entire procedure will happen now. Now, they have reached the Supreme Court challenging that order. So, we have to just wait and watch, Deepthi, to see that will the Supreme Court put a stay or not, or will it validate what the Delhi High Court said. Back to you.
So, the headline here, Madhurima, is that this is a legal battle. This is a completely legal matter that is being turned political. It's been spinned to milk the entire situation by certain political parties. You mentioned both the Congress and the SP right now lending their support to that drive, the anti-encroachment drive, something that is happening only and only at the behest of the court there. But Madhurima, we'll continue to be on top of that story. For the moment, thank you for getting us those ground reports as we quickly head into a break right now. But when we come back, we are putting our focus on the other story that has shocked the entire country. One after the other. Remember, there are so many unanswered questions now in the Delhi case. This is another CCTV footage accessed by Republic where you see another girl with the victim. We'll tell you more about that CCTV footage and what really the cops have to say when we come back after this break. Also, the Delhi police refusing to take absolutely any question, completely silent on a 2-day delay in finding out the key witness in the entire case. Our coverage continues on the other side of this short break.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए, भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए, इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on Republic. We are shifting our focus back to a story that Republic broke just a little while earlier. The story is about massive protests that have happened in Haldwani. Haldwani, remember, is in Uttarakhand. This is over an anti-encroachment drive. Now, these are the images on your screens of these protests that have been underway. The eviction drive here was ordered by the High Court over encroached railway land. So this land belongs to the railways. The entire matter went to court, and the court opined that an eviction drive must take place. Now, these protesters, for the moment, we are learning, are also backed by political parties. They are staging a sit-in dharna, blocking roads, and they also allege that this drive is to target the minority community. Before we cut across to Madhurima, who's reporting live, let's quickly listen into reactions that have just come in. The first one is from the district magistrate of the area.
रेलवे को देना हमें शांति व्यवस्था के लिए हमने मजिस्ट्रेट और पुलिस फोर्स पर्याप्त मात्रा में हम लोगों ने डिमांड कर दी है, और उनके रोकने की व्यवस्था कहाँ होगी उसकी व्यवस्थाएं हम लोग कर रहे हैं। अभी एसएसपी साहब और हम लोग भी स्वयं जा रहे हैं कि किन किन स्थानों पर अपनी फोर्स को हम लोग रुकवाएंगे, और जैसे ही ये पब्लिकेशन वगैरह कर देते हैं, मुनादी रेलवे कर देती है, उसके एक सप्ताह के अंदर हम लोग आगे की कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित करेंगे। शांति व्यवस्था कायम रखने इसको लेकर भी किस तरह से पूरा देखा जा रहा है? अब उसमें देखिए, इसमें सभी से अपील यही रहेगी। अब चूँकि माननीय उच्च न्यायालय के आदेश है, उसका पालन हमें करना है, और हमारी तो ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि जितने लोग अपनी व्यवस्था अभी से कर सकते हैं, उन लोग को अभी से व्यवस्थाएं कर लेनी।
It's time for us to head into a quick break right now, but when we come back, we take you back to what's happening in Uttarakhand and whether this is a rerun of what we all have seen, ladies and gentlemen, in the Shaheen Bagh area in Delhi in 2020.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
there is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. So you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield, and you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here on Republic. The other story that continues to actually garner a lot of headlines, and remember, a lot of unanswered questions from the Delhi police, in spite of them just putting out a 90-second statement telling us of what has happened so far. Republic has been able to access another CCTV footage. This is the one that you see now on your screens. One more twist to the entire story. Now, this is a tape that reveals a brawl between the victim and her friend is what we are given to understand. If we'll just look very, very closely at this particular CCTV footage now that you see on your screens, the girl in the pink, remember, is the victim, and she is purportedly having this brawl, literally that brawl that you see there on your screens right now with another of her friend. Now, is this the same friend that who, remember, later is riding pillion with her? We'll quickly see if we can cut across to our reporters, our team of reporters, getting you constant updates on that big story. I'm told Tanisha is just going to join us in a bit, who's been able to access that CCTV footage. Tanisha, we are playing out this entire CCTV footage where the girl in pink is the victim. She's having this literal brawl on the streets there with her friend. Now, is this the same friend, Tanisha, who is riding pillion with her later? Is this another friend? What do we know about this particular CCTV footage? What time are we talking about, and what has happened so far? Just piece together that timeline for us.
Right, this is the exclusive CCTV footage that we have access, which is right outside the hotel where these girls had registered themselves at 7 p.m. This CCTV footage is about around the time of 12 to 1:45 a.m. in the morning. That is the 1st of January. Because remember, 1:45 is the time when they had left, when these two girls had left. This CCTV footage and the CCTV footage that we had earlier broke, where there is the victim and there is her friend who were seen coming out of the hotel room and then hotel room, and then after that they moved to another location. That is the same friend that you see on your CCTV right now. And as Republic broke first, where it was told that it was a brawl that happened in the hotel room where the two girls registered themselves, the same fight had continued even outside the hotel room. When it happened in the hotel, it was the manager of the hotel who had to intervene and who had to stop the brawl. And soon after, this CCTV footage clearly shows that it was just not a verbal fight, but also a fist fight, a small fist fight that is being seen in the CCTV visuals. So clearly a verbal brawl plus a physical brawl that could be seen clearly in the CCTV visuals. What holds right now is the mystery that this girl, this friend has, because remember, what we're getting to know is that this was the same friend who was also hit by the Baleno car when she was traveling with the victim, and after she was hit, she fled the stop, and she did not inform the cops about it. The sources in Delhi police are now claiming that that it was because she was petrified, because of which she fled the spot and she did not make the PCR call. But now, when this CCTV footage comes out, it raises several questions as to what was the brawl all about, why did the brawl happen, and about those few men who also visited the hotel room soon after these girls registered themselves. So these are few unanswered questions that are coming to fore now with this new CCTV visuals coming out.
Now, Tanisha. Yes, Tanisha, why don't you tell us, because I was just looking through the CCTV footage. Now, how far is this particular hotel from the accident spot? What is the distance like? Can you quickly tell us also that, and then we'll also get into Suesha. Tanisha first.
Right, Dipti. Now, the hotel and the accident spot are quite far because it is about a stretch of 10 to 11 kilometers, and if we talk about the time, it is almost 40 minutes, the time of the hotel room and the place where the incident has happened, where the body was dragged for about a stretch of 14 kilometers. But what is interesting is where the hotel room is and where the accused place is, that is about at a stretch of 1.6 kilometers only. So in proximity to the hotel is the residence of one of the accused. So that is a big lead that we are getting to know. One of the accused does lie in proximity to this very hotel, but since the cops have ruled out any possibility of sexual assault as it has come out in the post-mortem, so we cannot actually say if it was a clear of sexual assault, because that has been completely ruled out. Now, since this is a hit and run case, what matters is the version of this girl, of this friend, as to what actually happened between the two. Why did the brawl take place? Who were the men who visited them during the time when they registered themselves at the OYO? And soon after this, the incident that happened, the time, the 1:45 is when they left their hotel, and 3:15 is when the first PCR call was made. What happened in the time period of those few minutes is what is being probed by the cops now.
Absolutely. A lot of unanswered questions. There is still so much, I think, that is being unearthed by the moment as we continue to report on that story. And what I'll do is we'll just let Tanisha and Suesha go so that they can get us more updates. Also, remember that CCTV footage that has been accessed by Republic, because right now we have someone who understands how the policing system works. She's been at the helm of the Delhi police for a long time. She's been actually in the system, outside the system, and she is someone who's going to help us understand what possibly could have gone wrong in the entire case. I want to say good afternoon to Dr. Kiran Bedi, who's joining us live. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for speaking to us on Republic. First up, ma'am, I want to understand, what are your first thoughts on what you've seen so far on this horrific case being reported out of the national capital?
Well, obviously, the manner in which these boys behaved themselves and conducted themselves, first of all, dared to be drunk and and attacking the... Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think the daring nature of the manner in which the boys conducted themselves is alarming, in the sense that's an indication how the youngsters or the youth of the city is taking policing and law and order for granted. They're becoming violators by nature and by impunity. Number one, I think we need to reinstate the fear of law and respect for law. Unless we reinstill fear of law and respect for law, we will never be able to prevent crime, because voluntary observance of law will happen only when you have respect for law and also fear of law. And that is missing. I think the real challenge before the Delhi police is, how do we drive home a message that you break the law, you will bear the consequences, whoever you may be. I think that's a very important message, because unless that is in your head, how much will you prevent crime otherwise? If everybody's going haywire, then how many people will you arrest? But the control, the fear of law, respect for law. Now, how do we instill fear of law? How do we instill respect for law? Should be the major strategy of the Delhi police and law enforcement agencies. Number one. My number two is, please understand, There was a very good system of police control room vans. And it had been coming on for years. And many officers, seniors, leadership, Delhi police instituted these police control room, first police control room, and then the police control room vans. The best of the gypsies, the good vehicles, functioning vehicles which had a motorcycle, which had a wireless set, which had a police constable and one reserve also with a wireless, everything. Some of them even had cameras. They were there as a system. What happened? Why did we dismantle the system? There may be wisdom behind it. I do not know. I'm not privy to this because somewhere a policy decision must have been taken to instead pass on these police control room vans to the police stations. That's what I'm told. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I may be wrong. But I've heard that the police control room vans, instead of being positioned at various locations, and their surprise locations were always changed to keep the surprise element. They were like a mobile police post, which was linked with the central control room. Moment they would get a call of an incident, the PCR van would go there. And somewhere the response time is very fast and somewhere the response time was slow, dependent on the traffic congestion and also the location of the PCR van. And they were accountable. They were the first responders. I think, why did we dismantle this first responder system? Second, first fear of law. Second is responder system. Why did we dismantle it? And if we did dismantle it, we need to relook at what was the wisdom behind it. Is there a wisdom or is it not worth it? So we need to re-audit the system and revamp. Third is very important. Because of the heavy traffic congestion in Delhi, even the van doesn't sometimes make a way through. So you have nobody's clearing because nobody has a space to give you. There is no space to give that vehicle even a right of way. So we had started motorcycles. So we had that, they were called mobile PCR van, which was an extension of the PCR van, PCR car, 4-wheeler to 2-wheeler. So in the 2-wheeler, you had one man on the pillion, and this person with a mic, etc., would rush to the spot because he could zigzag the way through traffic and reach as the first responder. Why did we do away with this also? That means we may look at 4-wheeler with 2-wheeler and at different locations, maybe at a distance at the vulnerable areas, and depending on the occasion of law and order, New Year Eve, Diwali, where do we relocate them? And that relocation was done by control room in conjunction with the DCP and the SHO of the area, because they knew their vulnerable areas. But they were also being checked at night, by the way. The PCR vans were being checked by the PCR supervision, that they are alert and that they are available. Third, now I've already told you 3. Fourth is the SHOs of the area must ensure that the cameras on the roads, Takriban almost every shopkeeper has a camera.
Yes, ma'am.
They're all functioning and they're getting recorded and that they are documenting and they're saving it. I think the shopkeepers, sometimes the cameras are working and sometimes they're not working. I think the private cameras of the shopkeepers should be regularly checked so that you can record an incident wherever it's required. Fifth, you see, I'm giving you a whole blueprint. Fifth is we need a centralized camera system in technology. We need to have better use of technology in Delhi, which means traffic police and crime control should work on watching the streets, because that's common. Crime and traffic, they are sides of the same coin. So I think better use of technology programs by Delhi police as a whole, not police station wise. At the moment, some police SHOs have, with their own initiative, got these Sarkari cameras for their police station. But Delhi is a union territory. It's a city-state. It's spread out so far and wide. It's not one police station. It's hundreds of police stations now. So therefore, we need a technological solution to look at the metropolitan city, the capital as a whole, from central command to these. Are you interested in more, or am I okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then one thing more.
Ma'am,
one thing, last but not the least.
Okay, I just want to, with your permission, ma'am, I want to come back to certain facts. You've actually told us what has happened in the past, what must happen, but clearly that has not happened. The reason why we are reporting on a story as ghastly, as horrific as this, ma'am. Now, I just want to bring certain facts out in the public domain, ma'am, because it's an opportunity for us to understand how things possibly could have been done better and what has gone wrong. This, ma'am, was a night that is intensely patrolled by the Delhi police. I was just reading an estimate that said 18,000 policemen and security personnel were actually on the streets of Delhi on the New Year's Eve. 18,000 policemen on the streets of Delhi. Yet, ma'am, it takes almost 2 hours. 2 hours between the first PCR call that is made to the Delhi police and the victim's body to be found. 2 hours, 18,000 cops on the streets of Delhi, ma'am. And in this duration, 5 PCR calls are made, ma'am, and the body is dragged for a good 10 to 15 kilometers on the streets of Delhi. There is just one question today that people across the city today are asking: where was the Delhi police, ma'am?
That's exactly the solutions I'm giving you. Where you would not have asked this question, where was the Delhi police, had we had these PCR vans in right locations, at the right positions. Then we would have asked another question. When the PCR van was supposed to be in this location, why did it take so long to reach? At the moment, since the PCR vans, I believe, have retrieved, gone back to all police stations, now it's a police station response, not a PCR van response. So your question would have changed. Had we not dismantled the system, that where was this PCR van when it's supposed to be in this location, not have responded urgently. And at night, it would not have been a traffic jam. That means you on call, that van would have been accounted for an early response. So I think what I'm giving you this is the need of the hour. Had it been there, you would have had a response to prevent further incidents like these. Come back to the system. Come back to the original system.
I hope and I pray that you will understand our anguish. Because we are also, people, we are journalists. But then at the end of the day, when you look at a story like this, I recall reporting on the Nirbhaya incident. We were out on the streets. People were so angry. And then it took a lot of, efforts by everyone to change the system. But today, what has changed? If this is something that can happen with the victim, had this CCTV footage, ma'am, not come out, we wouldn't have even been talking about the entire case. The Delhi police initially says that this was an accident, a hit and run case, that they do not want to, even get into the bottom of it. They wanted to hush up the entire case is what the family alleges. Secondly, in the first FIR, ma'am, that's filed, they actually put in bailable charges, bailable sections against the accused. So why was the Delhi police even wanting to cover up the case as the family alleges?
I don't have the answers for that because I'm not on the spot. I'm only giving you a systems approach. That why I'm answering your question, why did they not respond? Then who responds? Police responds. Police responds on a vehicle. Why did we had a system of response? Delhi police had a very powerful, effective system of response, which was through the PCR vans. And the PCR vans were responding. Now, since you've dismantled it or found in your own wisdom something else, please let us know why did we do it? Because it must be all a policy decision from the police headquarters of a particular time. We need to rework on that, find out what was the experience and wisdom. Why? What was the urgency? What was so very interesting that it said, well, they go to the police stations, take the vans to the police stations. Now, the problem in the police stations is the police stations are very big sometimes. Some of them are big. They will take a long time to reach. But if the van is like a mobile police post and it's spread out and dotted around the police station, it will respond. The police station then gets activated and police station also reaches the spot. So that means you have a first response. It's like the ambulance. It's like the fire brigade, which reaches on call, moment you call.
Ma'am, I appreciate the fact that, you've stressed on the first responder, that's a PCR, but we still do not know because the Delhi police is not taking questions. All that the special CP did today is put out a 90-second statement. He did not take questions. But, I want to draw your indulgence to another fact. You've been a top cop. Had you been at the helm of the entire case, when a case like this comes up, you want to, say that this is a hit and run case, then we would want to know, where did the crash take place? Did they find out if there were more eyewitnesses in the case? Clearly not. The eyewitness has come out today. So do you believe that there has been a lapse in not just, the first responder PCR reaching out to the victim to go out and help on a PCR call, but also on the investigation? Or do you believe that everything has happened according to the rules? Because the police is completely silenced, ma'am, on the entire sequence of events.
I think that's a matter of investigation, and let the investigation take its role. They don't have any option but to collect. I think for that, police has to get its act together on early collection of the possible evidence which is coming through CCTV cameras, the eyewitnesses. It takes its time, but obviously all this evidence will come on record and investigation will take its shape, and the case has no doubt to be charge sheeted. So I'm not on the investigation at the moment because I'm not an investigator and I'm not on the spot. I'm not going to make a mistake on judging an investigation right now. All I can say is that be patient, allow the police to collect its evidence as it comes from the eyewitnesses and cameras. As the people speak up, I think that is bound to happen. Investigation is bound to happen in an effective manner. I have no doubt about the capability of investigation. I'm only on future prevention. I'm looking at, as a Delhiite, should we not have back our mobile police post system, which is also linked with motorcycles in view of the huge traffic jams Delhi has, where to even move an ambulance today is stuck in traffic jam. That's why you need motorcycles to weave their way through to reach as a first transponder. So I think that's what I'm focusing on. But there's another area which if I may complete my fifth point, is that, look, remember, Delhi has almost a huge amount, thousands and lakhs of people in private security. Why are we not mobilizing private security? And in such particular days, challenging days, private security should be fully mobilized, as we did in COVID. In COVID, I would dare say that in Pondicherry, we had mobilized entire private security to work with the police in COVID prevention, in making queues, long distances to make safe distance. Why don't we mobilize? Why should we not, Delhi police, now mobilize private security, which is in lakhs, and put them back on duty? That day you shall all be on duty, which is they know the area very well. Actually, you have the eyes and ears, real eyes and ears, and immediate response is private security. Every shopkeeper, every corporate house, some people, even houses, the gated communities, all have private security. They can all be mobilized for such events. And they be told, itne ghante se itne ghante tak you shall be on duty as private security. By the way, you should not.
Your point, Dr. Kiran Bedi, ma'am, is well taken. But I again want to bring you back, because you are the best person today who can actually help us understand what should we be doing. You know, in 2012, I remember it was the 16th of December where the Nirbhaya gang rape happened. We were all shocked. People were out on the streets. People were really agitated. I today want to know, 2012 to 2023, what has changed? We can't always be talking of the future, you know, let's do this, let's do that. What has the Delhi police done? I mean, if this is the police in the capital of the country, you know, Delhi, this is Delhi police, for God's sake. We are not talking of any other state police. Who do we ask questions to? The Delhi police, do you believe, ma'am, is accountable? They are answerable? Heads must roll?
Yes, the police headquarters has to answer. Police headquarters has to answer. And I'm sure, no doubt they will, and they have to. All I'm talking was not for the future. I'm talking of the present. We can start this mobilization now. Do you mean to say tomorrow something like this cannot happen? With the kind of weak parenting we are having today, where parents have lost control over their young boys. They have no idea where the boys, when are they coming at home and when they're coming back drunk, and that they are getting sheltered back and protected. I think the kind of youth, the kind of youngsters, many parents who are afraid of their boys. They're afraid of boys to even tell them anything. So the kind of crop that is coming, a large number of generation, whose sons are beyond their control. The police is bound to continue to live with this kind, and so will people continue to suffer for their own selves because the sons are not under control. Otherwise, these teenagers getting drunk like this and doing speeding driving, you think can happen with strong parents? No way. So I am saying that this is not the last time that crime is happening. It will happen, but we need to have response systems in place.
That is true. Dr. Kiran Bedi, I think all of us are answerable, but the point is the Delhi police has a lot more accountability, a lot more responsibility on their shoulders. We need someone who can actually speak, who can answer our questions, who can tell us what possibly has gone wrong. Why did they want to hush up the entire case, if at all they did? What are they doing now? How can we be certain that a crime like this, as gory, as horrific as this, Dr. Kiran Bedi, is not repeated in the future? You made some valuable, points here, whether it's about the first responder, that's the PCR, or what else the system needs to do. And we seriously hope and pray, ma'am, that people at the helm are listening to those suggestions. It's been a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you for your time and thank you for speaking to us on Republic, as we'll continue to track that question and a story that has shocked all of us. We want to know, where was the Delhi police and will heads roll? Let's all check of more stories that we are tracking. In fact, the CCTV footage that you see on your screens again has been accessed by Republic, where you see a second girl along with the victim now in this footage. This is just outside the hotel. The Delhi police is now piecing together the entire sequence of events. The girl riding with the victim now has been traced by the Delhi police. Her statement also has been recorded. Republic also accessed about 3 CCTV footages right from the day of the entire incident. And obviously a lot of questions, remember, now go out to the Delhi police. And was there an attempt initially to bury the entire case? The police is completely silent on the 2-day delay to be able to find out the eyewitness in the entire case.
लड़की थी और उसके मुताबिक ये जो घटना घटी है उस टाइम पर वो थी और उसको कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई थी और वो उठकर वहाँ से चली गई थी। और इस मुद्दे में हमने जो भी एफर्ट्स किए हैं कल, उसका परिणाम ये रहा कि अब हमारे पास एक इंसिडेंट की आई विटनेस है और वो पुलिस के साथ कोऑपरेट कर रही है।
To more news now, the Supreme Court has granted interim bail to the suspended Jharkhand Cadre IAS officer Pooja Singhal in a money laundering case, essentially to look after her ailing daughter. The top court has listed the plea now for hearing on February the 6th. A live bombshell was found near Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Man's residence in Chandigarh. A bomb disposal squad was also rushed to the spot, where the army used robots to lift this bombshell. Kerala Governor Arif Mohammad Khan has approved the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's recommendation to reinduct the CPIM leader Saji Cherian as a minister. Sources say that he will be administered the oath of office on Wednesday at 4 p.m. The Prime Minister earlier inaugurated the 108th edition of the Indian Science Congress through video conferencing. The theme of the event is Science and Technology for Sustainable Development with Women Empowerment.
देश की सोच केवल ये नहीं है कि हम साइंस के जरिए विमेन एम्पावरमेंट करें, बल्कि हम विमेन की भागीदारी से साइंस का भी एम्पावरमेंट करें, साइंस और रिसर्च को नई गति दें, ये हमारा लक्ष्य है।
The NI team earlier visited the Dangri village where terrorists have killed 6 people. The NI team will take into account all the incidents, working together with the Jammu and Kashmir police team. Hundreds of people, including top officials, gathered earlier at the cremation ground in the Dangri village of the Rajouri district, where the last rites of the 6 civilians who've been killed in this terrorist attack took place. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh reached the Siang district in Arunachal Pradesh to inaugurate the strategically important Siam Bridge, the event marking the very first visit of the Raksha Mantri post the clashes we've seen in Tawang.
रणनीतिक दृष्टि से भी, स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी इन सब सारे रोड्स की अहमियत रहती है। वैसे हम लोगों का लक्ष्य यही रहता है कि हमारे सीमा पर रहने वाले जो हमारे भारतवासी हैं, माताएं बहनें हैं, भाई हैं, उनकी आवागमन की सुख सुविधाएं ये बढ़ सकें।
We head into a quick break right now. When we come back, anger peaks in the valley over back-to-back terror attacks in Rajouri. The NIA now has taken over the entire case. Also ahead of the upcoming polls, a BJP leader gives an open call for polarization in the state of Karnataka.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the coordinates, the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. So you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield, and you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है इसे
How is it that as per the FIR 2 of the 5 men in the car are drunk, but the police claims they don't have a medical report and so cannot be certain? It's insane what the police is, and we cannot and we will not let you get away with it. How can a car hit a scooter and the driver of the scooter get entangled underneath a small car and get dragged for 14 kilometers, and the body of the scooter driver found without any clothes on? And which police force anywhere in the world would register this to be and claim an accident? It's no accident. But what this tells me, after 10 years, the police in the national capital has learnt nothing. But let them know tonight that we are still around and that we,
the people will challenge their malice and their falsehoods with all the force and all the conviction at our command. There is never any grey for me. It's only black or white, a good or bad, truth or falsehood. And at the start of this year, I call upon all of you, my fellow citizens, respond as you did when I called on you to speak out during Nirbhaya. Justice has to be delivered. This has to be made a case in point. Justice for Delhi's daughter, punishment for those who dared to cover up, punishment for them.
More twists and turns in the Delhi hit and run case. The role of a second girl now emerges. The Delhi police refuses to take questions, dons silence for the 2-day delay. A massive protest in Haldwani over the anti-encroachment drive. Is another Shaheen Bagh under works? Anger peaks in the valley over back-to-back terror attacks in Rajouri. The NIA takes over the case. Thousands gather as India pays tribute to victims of terror in Jammu and Kashmir. Ahead of the 2023 Karnataka elections, a top BJP leader gives an open call for polarization in the state. Welcome viewers, we start this bulletin with the massive protests that are underway in Haldwani in Uttarakhand after the Uttarakhand High Court issued an eviction order to some 4,000 different encroachments that have been deemed to be encroachments and has asked them to vacate by the end of the week, after which demolition drive will be undertaken. There are a number of the families and number of people and those who work there and live there who are currently protesting. They've lived there, it appears, for a number of decades in many cases, and this is a sit-in dharna that is ongoing where roads are being blocked. We have Madhurima reporting from Haldwani for us, and Madhurima, we are also told that there are political parties who are emboldening the protesters as well. What can you tell us about all of the different angles in this protest? What's happening over there right now?
Well, Ankit, I'm reporting from the very area that is under the scanner. I'm requesting my camera person to show you around. And now the entire case is between the railways and the people living in this vicinity. Now you can see these are not just slums. The slums are in just 28 acres. And then is this vicinity. You can see there are pakka houses, there are small businesses over here. And now this has been contended by the railways that it is their land. And the Delhi High Court in a legitimate order has said that the people living in the vicinity have not been able to produce enough matter in front of the court that the court could give a ruling in their favor, and which is why a demolition drive has been ordered. We also have the eviction notice as well, so the proper formalities have been followed out. Now the second point to this entire matter is now political benefits are being minted out this entire matter. Now it is being said that the government is trying to target a certain section of the community, but right behind me is a temple, Ankit. Right behind me is a temple in the vicinity as well, and if this entire area goes down, this temple will go down along with it. So it's not just the mosque, it's not just a certain community, that if the encroachment drive happens, you can see then there is one more college over here, Lalit Inter College as well. Here we are bringing you these exclusive visuals from here which tell you the entire story, because the politicians that are trying to mint political benefit out of the entire situation are just highlighting a major section, that a major section is being attacked by the government. Point one, the government has no participation in this entire legal battle whatsoever, because the battle is between the railways and the people living in the vicinity. The people living here have been contending that they have registries, they have enough documents with them, that show that they have been living here for past many decades, but at the same time contending the railways have better documents. They have the map of the entire area, they have architectural plans that show that this land belongs to the railways, and which is why the Delhi High Court, after hearing the matter in detail, had given an order in the favor of railways and have asked them to conduct a demolition drive by giving the people here 1 week's notice. The 1 week's notice was given on the 1st of January. But the people living here, of course, exercising their right to approach the Supreme Court, have approached the Supreme Court, and the Apex Court will be hearing the matter on January 5. And then we'll have to see that will the Supreme Court stand by what the Delhi High Court says, or will it further go on and hear the matter once again, and what it has to say upon the documents that are being presented by people living in the vicinity. I'll once again take you to the visuals over here. You can see right behind me is a business that is run by a certain community. Next to me, you can see that it's a Muslim household. Next to me is a Hindu household, and then there's a temple as well, then there's a college as well. So to mint political benefit out of it, or to give it a political to give it a political color, the Samajwadi Party, the Congress Party, they are coming forward and saying that the government is attacking a certain community. Now we bring these live visuals. These are live visuals, and the facts that we are presenting for viewers are the arguments that were presented in front of the Delhi High Court, and it is a High Court order. We have the eviction notice that also says that उच्च न्यायालय के द्वारा जो decisions लिए गए हैं उनके तहत that eviction notice has been given, but that has been challenged by people living here. 5th of January is the date when the Supreme Court will be hearing the matter, Ankit. But the more deeper question is it that why these opportunistic politicians are trying to enter this entire matter. The people here are conducting that they are not going to leave this place, like you were saying, that what happened in Delhi is going to be repeated here again. For the past 2 days, they have been sitting across these vicinities and protesting. But now they say that once the court will hear the matter, and whatever happens, what may happen, they are not going to vacate these lands. As you can see that the encroachment that has been alleged by the railways is to a very deeper level. It is not just the slums, it is not just mere colonies, it is an entire residential area. The way this entire land has been encroached, you can see that small businesses, pakka houses, proper buildings, proper bungalows are there, Ankit. And the railways has been contending since 2007 that this land belongs to them, and they would want their land back. The Delhi High Court has given a verdict in their order. Have given a verdict in their favor, and now we have to see what happens on January 5. The Apex Court will once again be hearing the entire matter, where the people living in this particular vicinity are saying that this land belongs to them. Let me also state some facts that there are around over 4,000 houses, around 50,000 residents that will be affected by this demolition drive. But since 2007, this case is going on, and it's going to take yet another turn on January 5th. We'll have to wait and watch for that. Ankit, back to you.
Right, Madhurima giving us a proper sense of what is in the vicinity over there, and it clearly looks like it is the cross section of any residential area. It's not specific to any community, at least on the face of it. Let's listen in now amid this protest to what some of the local officials, some of those who are involved and have a view on this, what they have been saying. Let's play those, please.
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वगैरह देना है वो रेलवे को देना है। हमें शांति व्यवस्था के लिए हमने मजिस्ट्रेट और पुलिस फोर्स पर्याप्त मात्रा में हम लोगों ने डिमांड कर दी है, और उनके रोकने की व्यवस्था कहाँ होगी उसकी व्यवस्थाएं हम लोग कर रहे हैं। अभी एसएसपी साहब और हम लोग भी स्वयं जा रहे हैं कि किन किन स्थानों पर अपनी फोर्स को हम लोग रुकवाएंगे, और जैसे ही ये पब्लिकेशन वगैरह कर देते हैं, मुनादी रेलवे कर देती है, उसके एक सप्ताह के अंदर हम लोग आगे की कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित करेंगे। शांति व्यवस्था कायम रखने इसको लेकर किस तरह से पूरा देखा जाता है? अब उसमें देखिए, इसमें सभी से अपील यही रहेगी। अब चूँकि माननीय उच्च न्यायालय के आदेश हैं, उसका पालन हमें करना है, और हमारी तो ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि जितने लोग अपनी व्यवस्था अभी से कर सकते हैं, उन लोग को अभी से व्यवस्थाएं कर लेंगे।
आज हमने हमारा ये कल ही तय हो गया था, हमने कैंडल मार्च निकाला। कैंडल मार्च निकालने का हमने लोगों से यही अपील करी है, किसी तरीके की कोई ऐसी वो ना करें, और हमें उच्चतम न्यायालय पर पूरा भरोसा है। 2 तारीख को हमारी 2 या 3 तारीख में हमारा केस फाइल हो चुका, वहाँ से हमें ऊपर वाले से उम्मीद है कि हमें स्टे जरूर मिलेगा।
पास पर्याप्त मात्रा में फोर्स इस समय भी है, उपलब्ध है। 5 कंपनी हमारे पास पीएसी की है, और आपका जो स्टेट की पुलिस है वो आपका अगले वीकेंड तक आ जाएगी पूरी, और जो डिमांड की गई है सेंट्रल फोर्स की वो आपका मेरा है उम्मीद कि अतिक्रमण का जो हमारा अभियान शुरू होगा उससे पहले आ जाएगा। इसमें 10 ड्रोन और 20 वीडियो कैमरे की डिमांड हमने रेलवे से की है, जिस पे उनके द्वारा सहमति दी गई है, और इसमें वो हमें जल्दी उपलब्ध कराएंगे।
मानवता
The National Investigation
जो ग्राउंड बनते हैं, ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ग्राउंड्स पे हम लोग आ जाए। आप देख रहे हैं किस प्रकार से पारा गिरता जा रहा है और जो कड़ाके की ठंड पड़ रही है, और 4500 मकान। ठीक है, हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा रहे हैं, अभी उसका मेंशन हुआ है, उसकी सुनवाई की कौन सी तारीख मिलती है, कई सारी चीज़ें हैं। तो ये सारी चीज़ों पे, और प्लस जो कल ज्ञापन हमने सौंपा था माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के लिए, तो उनसे हमने जानकारी ली कि संज्ञान मुख्यमंत्री जी को है, तो उन्होंने बताया कि पूरा संज्ञान भी है, और हमने उनको अवेयर कराया कि 4500 अगर खुदा ना खास्ता 1% सुप्रीम कोर्ट से स्टे नहीं मिलता तो कैसी भयावह स्थिति उत्पन्न हो सकती है। तो ये सारी जानकारी, क्योंकि ज़िला के हमारे अधिकारी हैं और पुराने अधिकारी हैं, अनुभवी अधिकारी हैं, तो ये सारी चीज़ों से अवगत भी उन्हें कराया। और जो आपने देखा होगा कल एक मिसाल कायम हुई, आप इतना बड़ा यहाँ पे प्रोटेस्ट हुआ, लेकिन एक भी आपने देखा होगा ना नारा लगा, ना मुर्दाबाद हुई, ना जिंदाबाद हुई। तो ऐसी मिसाल कायम करी, लोग अभी भी शांतिपूर्वक तरीके से न्यायपालिका न्याय प्रक्रिया पे विश्वास कर रहे हैं। बस जो प्रदेश की सरकार है उसको जागने की आवश्यकता है, और डीएम साहब से हमने संदेश प्रदेश की सरकार को पहुँचाने का कार्य करा।
Heard there the views of a number of people who are somehow related to the protest, or also the local officials over there. And I also thank Madhurima for sharing such a keen and deep look at what is the prevailing situation in Haldwani. Clearly a developing situation over there. There is a Supreme Court hearing to come. On the other hand, an eviction notice has been sent to all of the people that live there. The politicians claim that it is targeting a particular community, but it really looks like it is a cross section of society over there. There are schools there as well, there are shops there also. We are tracking this very closely. I thank Madhurima for joining us for this, and we'll show you also now what has taken place in Jammu. Here's a report by Gursimran on the twin terror attacks that have taken place there. Let's take a look.
The National Investigation Agency team will be reaching here in a short while from now. Once the families will head towards the cremation ground, possibly after the cremation is performed, the teams of the National Investigation Agency will land at the site where the firing incident has taken place in the 4 houses, followed by the ID blast that has happened yesterday morning at 9:40 that took the life of 2 minors and leaving 8 injured. Apart from that, we are also getting to know that the many central agencies are also camping here in Rajouri along with the senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police. And after yesterday's meeting, a strategy has been charted out to neutralize the terrorists, and the agency is saying that they in themselves have fixed a deadline that within a shortest possible time, those 2 perpetrators who have carried out this act of terror, they needs to be neutralized at an earlier. So, and strategy has been charted out, and now the intensified searches have been launched in the upper reaches, in the ridges, and also in the areas where there is a high possibility that the terrorists can take the shelter, and that's why a major counterinsurgency operations are underway in the Rajouri district.
Viewers, we have a lot more coming up. There have been more twists and turns in the Delhi hit and run case. The role of a second girl has also now emerged. We'll tell you more about that. And ahead of the 2023 Karnataka polls, a top BJP leader has given an open call for polarization. We'll tell you about that as well. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
This is Samiksha Srivastava reporting from Mumbai, and this is Republic.
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. So you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield, and you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए, भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए, इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also
I'm Gursimran Singh in Jammu, and this is Republic.
Welcome back, viewers. The country is still reeling by the events of what happened in Delhi on the night of the New Year's Eve, the first day of the year, when a 20-year-old woman, Anjali, was hit by a car and dragged on the Delhi roads for about 13 kilometers. She died as a result, and there have been non-stop protests seeking justice for her. 5 people who were in the car, a silver-colored small car at the time, have been arrested by the Delhi police. But there are a number of questions that have been raised against the police, and there are a number of revelations that have also come. We'll first go to Shivangi, who is reporting at the Sultanpuri police station. Now, Shivangi, I believe that the persons who were in the car have now spoken about whether or not they knew someone was being dragged along, and also what kind of state they were in at that time. What more can you tell us, Shivangi? Over to you.
Right, Ankit. So right now I'm just outside the Sultanpuri police station, and very, very fast developments have happened today. Now, when you spoke about the accused have denied that they even knew somebody was under the car. So that has been what the accused are saying. The family saying that there was something more. It was a brutal murder. Remember, a short while back, we have come to know that a post-mortem report has revealed that there was no sexual assault taking place. Our sources have said that, Ankit. So we have to make sure that now the story is developing very, very fast, Ankit. And a short while back, the Delhi police also had a press conference where they said that the second girl with the victim, she's being interrogated right now, and she's cooperating. So we are seeing that slowly the story is moving forward, but many questions being raised right now. And as we report outside the Sultanpuri police station, and like you were mentioning, Ankit, and I'm going to tell our viewers the same thing as well. A lot of anger against the Delhi police for the past 2 days. We have seen the family members come out. Remember yesterday there was anger on the streets. Protest after protest, multiple protests outside the LG's office, multiple protests also in Sultanpuri, where the family is saying that something is wrong. It's not an accident. We saw that the family members, protesters, they even had gone ahead and they had broken the windshield of police cars. So that's the kind of anger that we have seen. But now, the latest is that a CCTV
Shivangi, stay with us. Shivangi, while you bring us this information, stay with us. We have Mr. A.K. Jain, former Uttar Pradesh DGP, who is joining us right now. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Now, Mr. Jain, first of all, there are a number of questions against the police that if such a gory incident has taken place on a night when there should be checking every couple of 100 meters, why did the police not spot this at all?
It is very surprising. To me also, it is very surprising. On 31st December night, police is supposed to be there on the roads, entire police force. They are not supposed to sit inside police stations or outposts. They should be on the roads. Even senior officers are doing patrolling on the roads. So there should have been PCR vans, there should have been nakas, police should have been there. And if it is not there for 12 kilometers, it is very surprising. And Delhi police must introspect and take stock of the situation.
Now, one of the things that everyone is pointing out, which really doesn't make any sense, is how if there are 5 people in this car and they're dragging someone along underneath the undercarriage, how did they not know that this was happening? And also, shouldn't the Delhi police have rung them over the coals over that? Should they not have been asked over and over again whether they knew or they did not?
They are telling a lie. It's a blatant lie. They were fully aware of it. How can they not be aware of it? They are absolutely, they are telling a lie. They should be sternly, they should be interrogated. They will confess. They wanted to dispose of the dead body in the way. That's why they took a U-turn also. But because the girl, her legs got stuck in the axle, so that's why they couldn't get rid of her. So they are telling a lie. Even loud music, high speed, anything, you will immediately come to know. Even if a small bird is under your tire, you come to know. So when a girl's body is there, how is it possible that they were not aware of it?
Right, absolutely. Mr. Jain, you've been DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Protocol-wise, did the Delhi police err in not adding the relevant sections? Did they speak too soon, declaring it an accident and no other motive, for instance? Do you think they jumped the gun in a number of ways?
It is not a case of 304A as claimed by Delhi police. It's a normal practice that if you hit and run, 304 is slapped on the person. These 5 fellows, criminals, they were dragging the body for 12 kilometers. It is such a sensational case. It is fit to book them under 302, not even under 304, and it can be justified in a court of law. So they were wrong in booking the culprits under 304A. They should have taken the family members into confidence. I don't think it's a case of rape, but it's a case of 304, clear-cut case of 304, and they should be charge-sheeted, and it should be ensured that they are not bailed out for months.
Right. Absolutely. I thank Mr. A.K. Jain, former UP DGP, for joining us and being forthright with his views on this very gory and horrific case in New Delhi. Viewers, thank you, Mr. Jain.
Thank you.
We have a lot more coming up, viewers. There's been a massive protest in Haldwani. It's still going on over an anti-encroachment drive ordered by the High Court. Is there another Shaheen Bagh in the works? And also anger has peaked in the valley over back-to-back terror attacks in Rajouri. The NIA has taken over the case. We'll get you all the details in just a few seconds. Stay with us.
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. So you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield, and you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी सरकार काम कर रही है, और जो हमारे पर्वतीय इलाके हैं और हमारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट की जो क्षेत्र हैं उसमें बॉर्डर रोड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहा है। और आज लगभग 28 प्रोजेक्ट्स का लोकार्पण मैंने किया है।
जी जी सर, जिस तरह से ये एलएसी के पास भी बिल्कुल बना है, ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है आर्मी की जाने आवागमन।
रणनीतिक दृष्टि से भी, स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी इन सब सारे रोड्स की अहमियत रहती है। वैसे हम लोगों का लक्ष्य यही रहता है कि हमारे सीमा पर रहने वाले जो हमारे भारतवासी हैं, माताएं बहनें हैं, भाई हैं, उनकी आवागमन की सुख सुविधाएं ये बढ़ सकें।
जी सर, तवांग की झड़प के बाद आपका ये पहला दौरा है, एक बड़ा मैसेज चीन के लिए भी।
नहीं, किसी को हम मैसेज नहीं देना चाहते हैं। ये तो स्वाभाविक विकास कार्य था, इसलिए मैं यहाँ पर आया हूँ।
And a lot more news coming up, viewers. As anger peaks in the valley over the back-to-back terror attacks in Rajouri, the NIA has taken over the case. We'll tell you all about that.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो है वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए, भारतीय सेना जो है वो यहाँ पे इंजर्ड्स को लेकर जा रही है। ये देखिए, इंजर्ड्स को यहाँ पर लेकर जाया जा रहा है। 2 महिलाएं घायल हुई हैं और एक बच्चे को मामूली तौर पर चोटें जो हैं वो आई हैं। अब भारतीय सेना की एम्बुलेंस में डालकर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवान जो है वो उन्हें यहाँ पर रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं।
Yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation. This is the very ground, and there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and this is the very place where a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured, and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital.
Right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them. The Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area.
There is a huge crowd of people who have come and they are demanding justice for Anjali. They are saying that they are not convinced by the police theory. They feel that Anjali was actually assaulted and then brutally murdered. Again, dramatic visuals being seen. The protesters have just surrounded the car. They are just banging the car of this official. And you can see that they have banged the vehicle and they have broken the windshield. And you can see the official is running away. The official is running away.
एलजी साहब इस्तीफा दो, हाथ में पोस्टर लेकर के लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, नेता और तमाम लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लगातार पुलिस उनको रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है, एक बैरिकेड को तोड़ने की लगातार कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ से ड्रोन के माध्यम से इन तमाम लोगों की रिकॉर्डिंग भी की जा रही है। और यहाँ पर तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर जो है वाटर कैनन जो है वो शुरू हो चुका है। जो लोग हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं हटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
का एक इतना बड़ा धमाका हुआ है, उसी घर में धमाका जो है हुआ है। ये बच्चा जो है, इसे भी यहाँ पर माइनर इंजरीज जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आई हैं। आप देखिए, भारतीय सेना जो है
breaking news coming in. The police has recorded the statement of hotel staff. This is after 48 hours of that ghastly hit and run case. Furthermore, records have also been collected of the victim and her friend. This is the latest that is just coming in. The statement of the hotel staff where the victim and her friend had booked. The hotel staff has now put out their statement, And the police has also gotten details of both the girls in terms of when they had registered, how long they were there in the hotel, what had happened. Because so far, reports suggest that the hotel staff had asked them to leave after they indulged in that brawl. The brawl that was visible on CCTV just outside the hotel. And this is the same friend of the victim who was a pillion rider with her when the accident happened. Shivangi is joining us live. Shivangi, give us details of police having recorded the statement of the hotel staff, what they've said in terms of when the victim and her friend had booked that hotel or a room that they had booked, whether there were two rooms, what could have been the reason for the brawl and what did passers-by hear, any of the accused, whether they were booked in the same hotel, because that is also something that is floating in terms of certain reports suggesting that, and also how long did they stay, when did they leave until that accident happened?
Right. Suesha and our viewers, right now, let me tell you first, we are reporting right outside the police station in Sultanpuri, and we are getting back-to-back updates. So the latest updates our viewers are seeing right now is a statement of the hotel staff that has been recorded. Now, a short while back, Suesha, the statement, the interrogation and detention of the people. Remember, there were some men who were seen talking to the two girls in that hotel. They were also detained, they were also questioned, and after that we saw that CCTV footage. In the CCTV footage, a third tape which is out, where you can see the victim and her friend, they are involved in a brawl. They are fighting. Now, why they were fighting, what happened, that of course we'll come to know later. That there's no clarity on what really happened. Of course we know, but we know that once the scooty had hit that car, Suesha, the friend has fled. Now we know that the name is registered there in the hotel. So a lot of questions right now being raised. Now the brawl video which we showed to all our viewers was around 1:16 a.m. at night. 1:16 a.m. at night, Suesha. So right now, of course, a lot of questions being raised. Now we know. What do we know? We know that the two friends were together. They were having a brawl outside the hotel. We know there were some men inside as well. Those men were seen talking to the girls by the hotel staff. They have been questioned. And number 3, now the hotel staff has been questioned. Back-to-back updates coming here right now, Suesha. A short while back also, the Delhi police had a press conference. They said that the girl is being interrogated and she is cooperating. So we are seeing back-to-back updates, and of course a lot of questions right now being raised that what really happened. Was the security not tight enough at night? Remember, Harsha, our colleague, has done these late night reports to understand what happens. Is there enough police personnel at night? Suesha, back to you in the studios.
Right. And of course, we are tracking every development very closely. For the moment, Shivangi, thank you for joining us. We now move on to Superfast News, the top 3 stories we are tracking for you this afternoon. In fresh CCTV tapes accessed by Republic, the victim can be seen with an accomplice revealing a brawl angle. The girl was with the victim at the time of the accident. She suffered injuries and fled from the spot while the victim got dragged under the car. The girl riding with the victim has been traced by the Delhi police and her statement has been recorded. Republic also has accessed 3 CCTV tapes from the day of the incident. There are major twists and turns in this Delhi hit-and-run case. The focus is now on the victim's friend, who was privy to everything that had happened. Furthermore, the Delhi police is assured for a thorough investigation.
डिसीज्ड के साथ एक और लड़की थी और उसके मुताबिक ये जो घटना घटी है उस टाइम पर वो थी और उसको कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई थी और वो उठकर वहाँ से चली गई थी और इस मुद्दे में हमने जो भी एफर्ट्स किए हैं कल, उसका परिणाम ये रहा कि अब हमारे पास एक इंसिडेंट की आई विटनेस है और वो पुलिस के साथ कोऑपरेट कर रही है।
Republic has learned that during custodial interrogation, the accused have confessed that they were drunk. Sources suggest that the driver felt something was stuck, but others encouraged him to keep driving. Furthermore, the police has detained some boys for questioning who were seen with the girls at a hotel. Post-mortem report of the 20-year-old victim that was conducted last evening. The results are out. The post-mortem report states that there was no sexual assault on the victim. However, the report is yet to be submitted to the Delhi police. Delhi Police Commissioner Sanjay Arora has reached the Ministry of Home Affairs and a meeting was held with the Home Secretary. MHA was briefed on the ongoing hit-and-run case. Supreme Court has granted interim bail to suspended Jharkhand cadre IS officer Pooja Singhal in a money laundering case to look after her ailing daughter. The top court has now listed the suspended IS officer's plea for hearing on the 6th of February. Live bombshell was found near Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Man's residence in Chandigarh. A bomb disposal squad was present on the spot where the army used robots to lift the bombshell. Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan has approved Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's recommendation to re-induct CPIM leader Saji Cherian as minister. Sources claim that Cherian will be administered the oath of office on Wednesday at 4 p.m. PM Modi inaugurated the 108th edition of the Indian Science Congress through video conferencing. The theme of the event is Science and Technology for Sustainable Development with Women Empowerment.
देश की सोच केवल ये नहीं है कि हम साइंस के जरिए विमेन एम्पावरमेंट करें, बल्कि हम विमेन की भागीदारी से साइंस का भी एम्पावरमेंट करें, साइंस और रिसर्च को नई गति दें, ये हमारा लक्ष्य है।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reached Siang district in Arunachal Pradesh to inaugurate the strategically important Siam Bridge. This event marked the first visit of the Defence Minister post the Tawang clash.
दृष्टि से भी, स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी इन सब सारे रोड्स की अहमियत रहती है। वैसे हम लोगों का लक्ष्य यही रहता है कि हमारे सीमा पर रहने वाले जो हमारे भारतवासी हैं, माताएं बहनें हैं, भाई हैं, उनकी आवागमन की सुख सुविधाएं ये बढ़ सकें।
NIA team visited Dhangri village where terrorists killed 6 people. The NIA team will now take into account the incidents, working jointly with the Jammu and Kashmir police team. Hundreds of people, including top officials, gathered at the cremation ground in Dhangri village of Rajouri district where the last rites of 6 civilians killed in a terrorist attack took place. Amid terror infiltration possibility from across the border, Deputy Commissioner imposed Section 144 within 1 kilometer of the international border. Restrictions to remain in force from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., during which no person will be allowed to move in the area. Family of 5 were killed in a 6-vehicle pileup on the Trichy-Chennai National Highway in Tamil Nadu's Kuddalore district. The vehicles in the pileup were 2 private buses, 2 lorries and 2 cars. The deceased are yet to be identified. One intruder was shot down by BSF at Channa BOP in Gurdaspur. The accused had crossed the border and was shot down by 72 Battalion of BSF. Further search operations are underway. A controversial remark was made by BJP leader Nalin